How has menstruation been portrayed throughout history and through visual communication, and has the feminist movement helped shift this?
Why is nature always called Mother Nature? Perhaps it's because, like any mother, she quietly manages so much of our living without our ever realizing there's a woman at work. Why, right from the beginning, we breathe and sleep and wake up with no more conscious planning than we used in sprouting teeth. Mother Nature controls many of our routine bodily processes.
The aim of my work is to challenge and interrogate the notion around the shame and stigma we hold towards menstruation. Society has been allowed to disconnect the subject between others and those around us who bleed. My concepts are to debunk our misconceptions around women's health, the results that come from that, and how design has responded. Our embedded shame has stemmed from our position as women throughout history. Feminism has aided the discussion in which creatives can explore visual communications around the much avoided subject. Why has such a natural function been portrayed as so dirty and unclean?
It becomes apparent to me that we cannot change and pass that policy until we change culture, until we get those legislators even comfortable to say periods or tampons on the House floor, right? Until we can get constituents to know that when they see a tax code about period products, they know what that means, right? So for us, my end goal is not about periods. My end goal is about gender equality, and I just know that we have to address periods to get to gender equality. And in order to do that, we need to pass this policy, and the link to get there is education and raising awareness.
I have questioned and confronted the historical and present issues around period stigma and the ideas of shame around the subject throughout my extensive research. I have established the foundation for a campaign and an accompanying brand identity that would adhere to and support the message I'm conveying and address these issues. Those that I have found through creative means and design around this subject are unsurprisingly mainly women.
Brings me to that question about cramps. When you stand and sit incorrectly, your abdominal organs are so crowded that they have no room to function efficiently. But when you stand and sit correctly, they assume their proper place and don't interfere with your natural functions. If your posture is good and your abdominal muscles firm, you will suffer less pain during menstruation.
My intentions were to create a commercial yet informed project addressing the importance of inclusivity. It needed to be ecologically sound and with rich research to support it.
Oh my God. Chopper's got a jam stain.
I think I'm gonna be sick. I genuinely think I'm gonna be sick.
Chopper's got a jam stain. That's got to be the dirtiest thing I've ever seen. You absolute scrubber.
Scrubber!
Scrubber, 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 scrubber.
Throughout my studies, I have felt the weight of this content and understood the heaviness of the topic. My aim has been to create a counter position through developing positive, affirming and uplifting design despite the difficult background. I felt the need to present an antidote to the subject and shift this with my work.
While there are isolated cases of reverence for menstruation in general, many societies impose a strict set of rules about the visualization of menstrual blood in art and visual culture. These hegemonic and patriarchal codes controlling discussion, commemoration, or visualization of menstruation have been formed over long periods of time by many traditional communities, Orthodox religions, and the patriarchal medical gaze, which ultimately have been internalized by millions of women worldwide as negative and shameful. Over time, menstruation has developed a fraught and complicated semiotic that is to do with the vagina as a sex organ, reproduction, and censorship involved in exposing body parts. The question should be, if menstruation happened in another part of the body, one that is not associated with intercourse, would it have the same stigma?
I needed my project to appeal to women and others who bleed, in the same way that any other attractive and thoughtful packaging would. I wanted to approach my work as a design problem rather than a women's problem.
And it won't be long at all before you're quite used to it. You see, honey, menstruation is perfectly normal. It happens every month. Sit up, dear.
But why each month, Mom?
Oh, it's just part of being a woman, I guess.
Why can't we talk about periods? And it's not about the blood, as Freud would have you say.
Try not to throw yourself off schedule by getting overtired, emotionally upset, or catching cold.
It's just a patriarchal society is invested in oppressing women, and at different points in our lives, different things are used. And menstruation is used during what we in medicine call the reproductive years. It's been around since pretty much the beginning of time. Many cultures thought that women could spoil crops or milk or wilt flowers. And then when religion came along, purity myths only made that worse.
What about the menstruation bathroom?
Well, that's a statement that's real difficult to understand for a man. Or maybe it's very obvious. It's one or the other. It's either very difficult to understand or very...
What did you think about it? I mean, what was your reaction to it then?
The lady had a problem.
Do you change your life for 1 week because of that time of the month? Still using pads? Then let me tell it to you straight. Tampax can change the way you feel about that time. Tampax tampons protect differently than a pad, so you feel cleaner. And feeling cleaner is more comfortable. Plus, more women use Tampax than any other tampon or pad. Now that's something. Remember, there's a feeling with Tampax. It can actually change the way you feel about your period.
Throughout all of my work, there is a correlation within each outcome through its visual behaviour. My work ripples out from inclusivity and positive affirmations. This translates into colourful, light and expressive approaches and manifests into illustrative content. I hold the subject close to my own experience of being a woman in a filtered and ashamed society that continues to oppress women for their natural functions. I have been enthralled by the content around menstruation and the rebelliousness behind creatives that project and visualise these taboos. To create pieces for such a tumultuous and underserved topic is so inspiring to me as a feminist and young artist. Throughout my studies, I've established my priorities, values and boundaries as a graphic designer, which will continue to support both my personal and creative journey.